With a week to go until the November 5th election, U.S. Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris and her Republican rival Donald Trump on Monday worked to win over the few remaining undecided and independent voters in key battleground states. Trump courted religious voters in the southern swing state of Georgia during an event with the National Faith Advisory Board.
I mean, honestly, religion is under threat in this country, serious threat, and we can't let that happen because I really believe it's sort of the fabric of our country. It's the thing that holds our country together.
Later, to a crowd of thousands at a rally in Atlanta, Trump rejected Harris's recent contention that he is a fascist, calling himself, quote, the opposite of a Nazi.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Trump also continued to face backlash Monday over his New York City rally a day earlier, where a comedian called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage and peddled other racist tropes about Latinos, an important demographic in several of the 7 swing states that will decide who wins the presidency. Harris, as well as popular Puerto Rican celebrities and some congressional Republicans, have all since denounced the comments. The Trump campaign has said the joke did not reflect its views, though the candidate himself has not addressed the comments. Meanwhile, Harris on Monday was in Michigan, where she first toured a semiconductor facility and made her pitch to union workers.
Union labor and hard work is so much of what fought for workers' rights across the board. So, look, I'm here for you.
Later that evening, Harris appeared at a rally in Ann Arbor with her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Harris framed Trump, as she has increasingly in recent weeks, as a threat to American democracy and the Constitution.
And listen, you all have heard me say, I do believe Donald Trump to be an unserious man. But the consequences of him ever being president again are brutally serious. Brutally serious.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday joined the some 46 million Americans who have cast early ballots in the November 5th contest, according to the election lab at the University of Florida. National polls, including the latest one from Reuters Ipsos, as well as surveys in swing states, have Harris and Trump neck and neck, with Election Day just around the corner.
Chinese robo-taxis are heading to the Big Apple, but it won't be a smooth drive. WeRide snagged a valuation of over $4 billion in its New York IPO. Pony AI, which is preparing its own market debut there, was valued at $8.5 billion in a private funding round last year. Their technology is impressive. Pony AI already runs a 250-strong fleet of driverless taxis and more than 190 trucks in China. WeRide was the first to provide a paid taxi service using a high degree of automation known as Level 4. However, the business model is as futuristic as those cars. Fully autonomous technology is mostly confined to test environments. If they venture beyond pilot zones, they'll need to expand to detailed digital maps. Regulations are evolving too. That makes it hard to grow the top line and the bottom line. Both Pony and WeRide are loss-making. Meanwhile, investors' confidence in the tech is flagging. Tesla's closely watched We Robot event was a spectacle, but it didn't offer a clear path to commercialization. Peers like Mobileye and Hesai have seen their market value fall sharply in the past year. Even so, Pony and WeRide have been seeking share prices that imply either breakneck growth or rich valuations with multiples much higher than their peers per Breakingview's calculations. Unless the top line accelerates dramatically, China's new automotive upstarts may be asking investors to put the robot before the car.
Rescue teams search for survivors in the rubble of a building in Argentina on Tuesday, after the 10-story hotel collapsed early that day, alarming neighbors.
Honestly, it was shocking to see how the building collapsed. It transformed into a cloud of dust and we couldn't see anything. We heard like an earthquake, as some neighbors said. This was terrible. It's like a horror movie we are living through.
A statement from the municipality of the coastal city of Villa Gesell said between 7 and 9 people were believed to be inside at the time. They included workers from a construction site, allegedly operating without municipal permits. City Mayor Gustavo Barrera visited the site later that day.
There was a closed-down construction area. An elevator shaft was being worked on, and it remains intact here at the front of the building. We think there has been irregular work at the rear side where the tower was.
The province's Minister of Security said survivors could live under the rubble for up to a week, and that rescue teams would not leave until they had removed the last stone. Authorities said an 80-year-old woman was rescued with the help of a probe-equipped camera, and that the body of an elderly man was recovered. The cause of the collapse has not been disclosed, but officials said 4 people linked to the construction at the site have been arrested.
Google parent Alphabet says its investments in AI are paying off. On Tuesday, the tech giant beat profit forecasts for the third quarter and said sales at its cloud unit jumped by more than a third. The news drove Alphabet shares nearly 6% higher in after-hours trade. Google had been seen to lag rival Microsoft on AI, but it's spending big to catch up. Capital expenditures rose by almost 2/3 over the quarter, hitting $13 billion. Among other things, the money has been spent to beef up its Gemini chatbot. Analysts say there are signs of progress, with the firm's AI tools getting better at providing answers. Earlier in the year, Google's chatbot drew criticism for inaccurate responses, including a pizza recipe that listed glue as an ingredient. Now Alphabet will hope that AI can make up for slower growth in its mainstay search business. That unit grew by 12% over the period. Google also faces growing competition in the online advertising sector, which it had long dominated. Rivals like Amazon and TikTok have been gaining market share. Researchers at eMarketer predict Google's share of US search advertising revenue will fall below 50% next year for the first time in at least 18 years.